Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and we got a list of, I think, 19 homes, and so we're going to start off. It's funny how far off the mapping is. Look at this. There's one in Alberta. The one on Sanderson is mapped way over there, so way off the mark. There's actually a Milton, New Brunswick, where we see certain properties. So 19 in today's list. We got 1380 Costigan. Number 10 is the first one up. Priced right within where pretty much all of them are. It's probably a bit better kitchen than some of the ones that are currently for sale. My problem with this one, I've let it be known many times. I think the 2-bedroom, $120 condo fee, plus really only one car parking in the garage, with some of them not even having a second parking spot. It all kind of works against them. So I would say you either go to a Mattamy Village townhouse or you go to a true condo. You know, there's one right across the street from these guys that I think would represent better long-term potential and value. So Septimus, this is a good example, although this one's really high on the price. We haven't seen one of these cross 320 in months, and so it's the smaller one, and 1051 square feet. It's called a Cherry Hill. Yeah, it's, you know, when I look at that, and I look at something like this Septimus, you've got the end unit, 250 square feet bigger, 342.5, and you've got 3 bedrooms, although they're smaller rooms, but the kitchen is as good or better than the previous. A lot bigger. You've got an eat-in space here, much more open concept main floor. It's actually a bigger version of the previous one with an end unit, but for the price, there's no comparison. This one actually compares pretty well to what else is sold. I remember one of these models selling for $348 that I think wasn't even as nice as this. So good pricing for this one here. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold really quick. This one on King Street, I believe, has been off and on the market for a little while. The photos presentation looks good. It's probably the alternative to a condo. I mean, you can go to 100 Millside and buy a condo for anywhere from $280 to original, but you're going to end up spending more than $300 and have $500 or $600 fees every month. Or you buy something like this, 2-bedroom, 1 washroom, and you just kind of live in it. You've got a bit of a backyard if the grandkids come over. So it's a good home for an empty nester. There's a single car garage here as well. And King's a nice street, quiet, lots of trees and so on. So that's pretty much land value for something like that. And if you want to live in the home, all the better. McKay Crescent's pretty obvious. It's a 2-car parking in the driveway. Doesn't necessarily reflect in the price, but it does open up the audience to people who need that. 382 is the price, all brick, end unit croft side, so it's about 1380 square feet. And decent but not spectacular upgrades, just solid right across the board. And there's the front room. There's a small 3rd bedroom there as well. And they've got the canopy. They've got some extra stuff here that I think is just nice. You know, like it's just well put together. No finished basement. They put a possession of September 6th. So when that date is stated in that way, it usually means that there's the next step. So if someone was renting, normally what we see is if somebody's buying this as their first home, they'd normally put their notice in before August 1st and have August, September as their last 2 months notice. And then they've got a couple weeks overlap. They've already paid last month's rent, so it's not really a cash flow issue. And your first mortgage payment usually doesn't come out on the first day that you move in. So 1052 Clark, 389.9. And this home has some significance. I'm not going to get into the details, but if you live in the area, there was a story about what happened at this home. So I'll let you do your research, or you can privately email about that. But it's the home itself, I think, is about 12 or 1300 square feet, plus a mostly finished basement. There's a front dining room here, and a bit of a galley-style kitchen. And there's 1 washroom upstairs, and then you've got your 3 bedrooms. There's your mostly finished basement, and yeah, so that one, you know, I could see it going the semis at that price. With what the finished basement definitely helps. They've done a good job getting that home ready. Fitzgerald is 417.9, 1,600 square feet with a finished basement. You've got a front, almost like it's just a living room really, and then you've got your kitchen with a big eat-in area. One of these sold on Pettigrew probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Finished basement, and the one on Pettigrew was in the 4 to 410 range. So at 417, bit of market appreciation. Probably not that far off, but you're really paying for the finished basement because at that price you can get a 4-bedroom larger than that one. So it's a good location. You can walk to the GO train, you can walk to the community center. Broadway is $419. It's a semi-detached. This one actually looks like a nice detached home, but it's semi-detached. There's no garage, so this would compare to some of the stuff. There was one on Thomas that recently sold, some stuff on Commercial recently. So semi-detached old Milton houses, you don't see them a whole lot. The kitchen looks like it's had some work done. There's a bit of original features like the floors, clawfoot tub. So it's a little bit of a nice mix of new and old. 24 by 132 feet, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom. So it's got its little foibles, like not having the garage and so on, but you know, all things considered, Broadway is a little further off the beaten path than if you're getting into some of those like Thomas, for example. There's just more stuff around it. Bustle Crescent is at $489, so we just listed a model down the street with backing onto a woodlot and with a finished basement at $539. Had an offer very, very quick, and it was beautiful. Probably more upgraded than this one. Watch how much stuff you put on the cabinets there, and even these little globe lights, easy to replace, has a pretty substantial impact if you can, if you can do that, if it's within the budget. Now, don't know why this table's over here. It probably would have made more sense to have it put there, unless it was just for the angle of the photos. Nice floor plan, 1870 square feet. Glass shower was an upgrade, and no finished basement on this one here too. I believe you can park 2 cars in the driveway, and that's pretty much what I'd expect this one to be listed for. Now Frobisher, if you're into big lots, this one is fantastic. So look at the size of that property. Absolutely lovely, 55 by 120 foot property, and you've got a pretty good floor plan here. 4 smaller bedrooms on this one, plus the finished basement. So you figure the home plus the lot, it's probably not that far off at $489. You're probably going to get action because there's not a lot for sale in that area right now. Morelands is a double car garage. It's a back split, so a couple stairs up, a couple stairs down, and there's 4 different levels. So main floor with the kitchen, living, dining, bedrooms upstairs, bedrooms downstairs, and then usually a finished basement. Sometimes there's a family on the lower half, but it's on a nice street. It's not on the part of Morelands that backs onto Derry. It's on the inside part of the Crescent, which is good. Now Sanderson is at $549, and there's a part here that blows me away. First of all, the pictures are not fabulous. I've never seen nighttime photos that actually look good. But here's the thing that blows my mind. $32,500 for a premium quarter lot. It's not premium, and it's definitely not worth $32,500. I'd venture to say it's probably, you'd be lucky if it was even $10,000, maybe $5,000, because the lot's a little bit wider. They will never get that back. It makes me cry when I see people pay certain upgrades to the builder that would never in a million years pay off. It makes me so sad. They're not going to get it back. If they add that to the price, I think they're bananas. And Armstrong is $569, so it's just south of that one on Sanderson. And you know, it's nice inside. You've got California shutters, but dark kitchen cabinets. This is one of those things, you gotta replace the hood fan. If you got stainless steel appliances, it just makes sense. Get a black or get a stainless steel hood fan. Spend the money, do the work. It makes a huge impact in your kitchen. You got to take that crap off the fridge. It's not helping with the listing. People think that I'm anal retentive about this stuff. I'm not. I'm an advocate for you making as much possible money on the sale of your house as possible, and that's how you do it. You don't horse around. So 331 McDougall is next one up, $649. Looked at this one for a second. Not sure which floor plan it is. Done some nice work in the backyard, although the angle they took the photo, if you look at it, I'll go back to it, it doesn't give you a sense of the size of the home. So maybe raising the camera up a little bit or doing it from a different angle would probably give a different perspective on how nice that patio probably really is. Landscaping, return on investment, very, very low. You've got some dark hardwood floors here. And even on the upstairs, we've talked about the effect of having second floor hardwood in homes. It's about half the benefit of having it on the main floor. Typically, you won't lose money if you put it in on the main floor for most properties. I got to put a disclaimer there. Upstairs, you don't usually make the money back that it's spent to put them in. unless you did them yourself, in which case you might be able to get back just the cost of materials. So Whaley Way is about 3,200 square feet. It's a wild rose model. I really like this floor plan. So you've got, we come in the front door, you can see this is the mat for the front. Actually, that might even be ceramic tiles. And then you've got your dining room. Behind here is a separate living room, and above there is a den on the second floor. Some pot lights in the corners here. Coffered ceiling. The kitchen has lots of upgrades, built-in appliances. That's the den upstairs. Plus, there's 4 bedrooms, and yeah, it's got the upgrades. That is not cheap to put in. And $719, I'm really surprised that these guys have struggled, because I've looked at this one and I've thought, okay, what's going on with it? Drysdale, these guys had it for sale. They've improved their pictures marginally. They put some furniture in, I suppose, but it's still too high. You know, this is a 2,800 square foot home. There's not really a premium lot attached to this one here. 9-foot ceilings, again, smart upgrades, but I can't see them getting $745 there. Boland is over in Campbellville, $848 is the price on this one. And it's pretty much what you get for $848. They've done some kitchen rentals. I wouldn't say it's towards the higher end in terms of cabinet quality and so on. It's about 2 acres. Generally, these homes need some kind of work with roof or windows or something. I haven't seen this in person, but that's mostly what you're budgeting in, is that you've got probably, you know, 50 to 100 to put into these homes to really make them shine. Twist is $950. They're basically selling it as is. So you've got 7.5 acres, but it sounds like it needs work. 7.5 acres, you could almost reverse engineer and say, if I put 200 into this home, would it be worth 1.5 basically? And I don't know if it really would. I mean, I'd be surprised to see that. McLaren is just under 1.1. And so this one's been listed before. They've got some modern upgrades like the kitchen. Still the white built-in appliances. You've got, you know, a bit of an older, kind of a vintage fireplace look. Tennis court. I mean, there's a lot of land here. It's a great curb appeal from the front. It's a nice, quiet street too. You know, you can buy newer, probably bigger homes for the same price. So if they get this, it would be because of location, proximity to Milton, and also because of some of those little extra features, the pool, the tennis court, and so on. Now, the financing is a lot different over $1 million, so we see a lot of people stop at $1 million, because you can still buy a $999,000 home for 5% down. The minute you cross $1 million, CMHC, the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, has said, we're not financing mortgages above $1 million, which means your down payment goes immediately up to 20%. And what happens is, as you get to 1.2, 1.5, they're asking for even more. They're asking for 35, 45, 65%. Some lenders will cap at certain rates. So it's become really hard to get financing up at those levels. And so it's always a consideration. If you've got a home hovering right around $1 million, there's a gravitational pull right towards just below $1 million, just because of buyer financing. Your pool opens up greatly if it is below that. So that's the list. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we'd be glad to help you. And you know, it's one of those things where this time of year, typically, we've actually seen pretty strong amount of listings come out, but some of the buyers take a bit of a vacation, so it can be a good opportunity to kind of slide in there. There's a couple good deals that I've already seen on the market that may be just right for the picking. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes.